everyone. How are you guys doing today? I am so glad to be here to do my weekly lives. And for a lot of my YouTube viewers, you're probably asking what group. You can go to the description and you'll be able to see the group where I do my lives, and I've been doing my lives here since 2021. So yes, I know many of you guys have been emailing me. I'm sorry I wasn't able to respond to you, but next week onwards. So when you join the group, you could write in the form that you came through me so that I can quicken the process of approving you in. All right. Also, yes, I want to see if I'm in the right place. This is something that I do. So I think in 2022, I started doing this discourse in my own Facebook page, and I'm like, hey, where is everybody? And then I realized it was my own. Thank goodness, it was quick. If not, people in my normal Facebook group will probably think I'm crazy, trying to do this. Anyway, let me just check. Okay, right platform, and let me get it. Oops. Voice check, mic test, all working fine. See the things I got it. I got it too. Anyway, I'm going to give it a minute or two until more of you guys come in. And before that, how have you all been? Tell me in the comments how have you all been feeling. The energies have been insane, especially this black moon. In my mother tongue Tamil, it's the sunny Amavase, so it's a very it's basically Saturn's new moon. So that's the reason why you may have felt how powerful the build up has been in the last couple of weeks, how it builds up to this point, and I'm lucky to be able to do it in the new moon itself, because in the US it's the 23rd still. All right, so as I was saying, a very powerful black moon, and very powerful black moon in Saturn. So during the period of Saturn retrograde, so many of you guys may be feeling a lot of freedom, and also feeling your divine masculines in your field. And the reason why is because Father Saturn is really beautiful. Father Saturn, it's all about showing you what life is, and how when you lead your life in the path of dharma, righteousness, all will flow. And that's why Saturn's presence, many fear Saturn because they may feel that they are not living a righteous life perhaps. But in a monadic twin flame journey, often monadic divine feminines, we honor the highest path of righteousness. So that's the reason why this Saturn retrograde has been very favorable, because our divine masculines are taking accountability for their actions. So you would have been noticing it, especially the build up to the black moon, the sunny Amavase as well, like how it has been amplifying the effects. So that's the reason why all the midnight kisses and conversations you're having in the third energy field with your divine masculine, if you are in separation or pre union stage. And for those in union, next level service. That's what happens. Every time when major astrological, when the space starts to get cosmically aligned, I always feel next level of service to humanity, star seeds out there. So yeah, so probably that's the reason why I'm seeing so many more of you guys nowadays. So again, you know how I try to keep my channel as protected as possible, and you guys also know how I only started uploading these discourses on my YouTube channel from 2023 July, because I wanted to be in the background. But then I thought, you know what, if anything happens to me, at least my videos would live. And through since 2023, many of you guys find me through my YouTube channel. So I'm so glad to see you guys. And yes, it has been a journey. And if you guys were to look at my first discourse in 2021 to now, of course, I've aged and I've probably gained weight as well. Not probably, have gained weight. But anyway, the interesting bit is thank you for those who are able to notice that my TikTok daily channelings and these videos, it's me. On TikTok, I use a filter. In fact, if you go to TikTok, it will say that I'm using a filter. So yeah, so for all of you who can recognize it, and so I'm glad the comments are not coming in anymore, so that's good. But lately I've been receiving really nice comments, like my nail polish is nice. I do my nails myself, by the way, and now my lipstick color matches it, so thank you for those compliments. Anyway, thank you all for all your comments and kind words lately. I've been very inspired to create more and more discourses for you guys on that basis. It's like when I wake up in the morning and I fall asleep, I'm just thinking, what should I do for tomorrow? And that's why sometimes when inspiration hits, I just go in. So as I was talking about how the energies have been really, really beautiful, and how the energies have been very transformational, you would be noticing a few things energetically. Of course, you would have been noticing a lot of fatigue. You would also be noticing sudden bolts of energies are coming in as well. So two things are happening. One, your body is resetting, cosmic consciousness is intervening. So every real twin flame out there is getting the purest reset. God's praise. All praise to God, always God, God, God. Right? And then secondly, if you were caught in entanglements or situations related to your career, life, or if you were, being a target of like energy vampires or people who have been siphoning your energies, this black moon is blacking it all out. Like truly. Sunny Amavase and, this black moon has totally been blacking out the 3D for you to see the 5D and beyond, the multidimensionalism with your own eyes. That's why it's such a sacred period, significant period. You'll be feeling the energies for a couple more days intensely. That's why I would say that this new moon has come back again after 800 years. This is as per my own higher self analysis and interpretation, you know. So that's what I'm getting from my higher self. So that's what's going on, and that's why many of you all may feel like you're just woken up from a slumber, and you might be like, hey, all this while that co-worker was the one draining my energy, or no wonder my third energy field has been very noisy because it's that relative who keeps poking in my life, or finally all those bad nasty friends of my DM are finally leaving for good. All this happening because Saturn retrograde, guys, very, very, very powerful transit. Another 2 days for you guys to watch out this week is two significant dates, and I wanted to touch on that before I go into the discourse. So 22nd August, Saturn enters Virgo. Sorry, the Sun enters Virgo during the Saturn retrograde period. So this is ushering in so that's the reason why the last 2 days it has been like really, really intense, because the sun's entry into Virgo, as we all know, that happens every month, right? As we are entering the Virgo season, it's bringing about a structured health and daily routine oriented vibe. You'll be paying more attention to reorganizing your life, purifying and realigning. And that is so the significant dates to truly remember this week is, of course, the black moon, and how it has been one of the strongest reset nations of the year. So yeah, that's why redefining your life, totally taking a new course and getting rid of the old, Remember, the power is always within you. The protection is always within you. God is within you. No one can do anything to you unless you give them permission, of course, like siphoning energies and all that. So remember, energy vampires only tap on your subconscious. But once your conscious merges with your subconscious and you start living in 5D, they can't even see you anymore, because these, not so good energies always vibrate below 5, live below 5. But of course, if you keep saying God, 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 and building your own relationship God from within, you are always safe and protected. That's why I always say the power is within, guys. External is only meant for inspiration. Even my discourses, they are meant to inspire you and ignite your own learning from within. Ask your higher self for any questions and you will always get the answers. And when you talk directly to God, you always get the answers, of course, through silence. If you're getting words, it's your mind, of course, talking. Silence and then guidance. That's God's way, always. So that's why this rare black moon doubles down on the opportunity for deep inner and outer decluttering. So that's why I'll call it the rebirth point. Perfect for letting go emotionally, spiritually, physically. So that's why, like I said, the Sunny Amavasya, Saturn has been retrograde since the 13th of July, and the 23rd, it's the retrograde energies are amplified and deeply highlighted, and that's why this triggers a powerful moment for karmic review, testing and possibly confronting unresolved patterns, especially for Aries, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. All right, so that's why you might be noticing how on the 20, there are another two more significant dates that you have to look forward to. On the 25th of August, Venus moves into Leo, so it brings about a lot of self-expression, bold affection. And this is the window of communication from your divine masculine, and it's also going to really you're going to shine, and abundance is going to flow in financially. Everything is going to come in, abundance. You're going to move into that eternal Shakti, goddess Lakshmi energies. Where flow is going to be you. Divine feminine flowing in a goddess essence. That's what monadic divine feminines are moving into. And on the 28th of August, a rare Uranus Neptune alignment sparks intimate breakthroughs and intuitive ones as well. And you're going to get a lot of spiritual epiphanies, so it's great for furthering your communication with your DM in the third, the combined energy field through the third energy. And also, surprise, so between 25th to 28th, anything can happen between you and your divine masculine in the 3D. So that's why, guys, Venus moving into Leo and Uranus Neptune alignment, it's just about the biggest breakthrough you are going to get. And for the Twin Flame Collective, this is happening after a million years. This conjunction with Saturn retrograde, Neptune retrograde, and all of the energies, rarest of the rarest, guys. So this period is your time to shine in your light, to remember how powerful you are from within. Time to remember your star origins, where you came from, why you are here. This is an excellent time. Of course, I offer Akashic Records readings. You can book a session via my website, but it's always great to know whether you're from Sirius or whether, I'm from Mintaka, whether you're from Arcturus. Or another thing is always protect your energy, guys. Remember, healings, it's based on trust. You got to trust your healer, and always trust your gut and intuition. You need to resonate. All right, and it's the highest form of permission anyone can give, and that's why I really honor that. Anyone who comes to me for a healing activation reading, truly, to me, it's God sent. Every client who comes to me, all praise to God. All right, so that's the reason why it's a very strong week. I'm going to have a look at the comments, and I'm going to delve into the topic, and then I'm going to do the live channeling. All right. Let me see. Oh, Becca is here. Yes, yes, abundance, abundance energies are flowing, Becca and Karen. Beautiful, beautiful morning to you. And all of you here, very, very warm welcome. All right, so as I was saying, it's really, really a huge reset period, to especially shed ego-based dramas, reset. I really feel like this is the period people who have been draining your energies, people who have been pulling you down, this black moon has blacked them out. Like, totally. All right. That's why any karmic imbalance, thanks to Father Saturn, really. Saturn is like, that's why, they call him the god for lawyers as well. Because Saturn is very, very, yeah, it's amazing. Like Saturn, like really connect to Father Saturn. Literally, he is fatherly, his energies. And that's why your divine masculine is gaining a lot of accountability this season. Literally, whatever he has done to you, Father Saturn is showing him, hey, if you were rude to your Shakti, your goddess, your divine feminine, this is what you get. This is what the world will mirror to you. So those friends whom he put up on a pedestal or people he worshipped, all of them are going to show their true colors. And this black moon has just amplified it. And that's why many of you guys have been messaging me saying that you're feeling your divine masculine's energy like never before. So amazing, 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 isn't it? Right? So truly, in every way possible. And also, guys, we had the Mercury retrograde, right? And combined with the Venus, Jupiter alchemy, heartfelt communication and romantic breakthroughs is becoming very, very, very possible if you align inwardly. And I've been doing a lot of discourses on what twin flame romance is. It's really not like 3D. 3D romance, it's, oh my god, it can be celebrated because it's unique to Earth. It's very, but unfortunately, it doesn't touch on unconditional love at all. It's all about performance. Total performance. So, yes, that's why Father Saturn is breaking it all. And, guys, power within. But that is what Saturn retrograde is reminding us. The power is always within. Always trust your intuition. Always trust your God. Always trust your gut and always trust your God within. I always say, there are two types of God, the man made one and the real God who's within. So that's why in Tamil we have got God is called Kadavul, inside your heart. That's what it means. So yes, with that very, very auspicious month in Singapore, it's the ghost month. Always, this is the month where the veil is very thin, and we have got Halloween coming in, and then the Day of the Dead. That's when the veil, the last days of the veil being open. So the next 3 months are going to be very, very, very auspicious, especially for spiritual growth, for transformation. This is the period, and especially Saturn retrograde is going on till November, and then you've got Neptune retrograde, Uranus in Gemini. All these, this is a very, very, very rare period. Like I said, after a million years, it's happening for twin flames. Union period has opened up. Next 25 years, union is going to be so common, like how non-union was common before 2000. Before 2000, twin flames rarely got into union, right? It was Romeo Juliet situation. Always come close, tragedy. But now God is blessing us with stable union. And when I say stable union, it's so important because you can get into union and then break up, get into union. Stable union is when you are vibrating 5D and above. 5D and above. So vibration is like 5D and above. Often we sit in like 7 or 8D just in case. So yeah, so you will be fluctuating down, and you will also be aware of 3 4 1 2 3 4, the bottom. It's just that you will be accessing those dimensions from a state of watchfulness, because you still have to handle problems in those dimensions too. So that's why, guys, remember 5D is the key. All right. And of course, always remember your cosmic egg, where you were split, 13 dimension. Always connect to that. The remembrance changes everything. Man, you see, this is how when I do my twin flame checks, I actually go to the Akashic records level, see if there are any confidential codes, do many checks, and then I go to the point of split so that I can separate where you were split, whether split soul twin flames or monadic twin flames. And I tell you, each time I see the split in the cosmic egg, it's so beautiful. And some of you see it too during our healing sessions, etc. And I have to just say, when you can remember on that level, everything changes. Everything changes. Your DMs, I'm not interested, your DMs, I hate you or I block you, it all disappears. You go back, you connect to the pureness of your third energy field, the what I call the metaphorical amniotic fluid, right? You know, in the combined energy fields in the cosmic egg, that energy activates, that spiritual energy activates. And that's why it is so profound. That's why this is a period of internal and external abundance for all divine feminine. So just connect to the energy of the goddess within you. All right. So with that, I'm going to go into our discourse. So I'm just going to look at the comments. All right. So good. Any questions about the energies, guys? So I'm going to delve right into this topic many of you guys have been asking me to do. All right. So today, I really want to go into the real mechanics of what is happening, you know, when the soul knows first, and how monadic twin flames recognize each other beyond logic, you know. So that's why I'm not going to reduce it to like cliches like you're scared of love or blah blah blah, this and that. Now we are really going into the nervous system, the soul field, the cosmic architecture. That's why I want to speak about something that every twin flame has felt but often struggles to explain: the recognition that comes before logic. So this discourse is dedicated to that. How, as twin flames, we recognize our divine counterpart beyond logic. Because recognition doesn't begin in your thoughts or in your five senses. Recognition begins in your cells, in your field, in your soul's vibration. So it's a kind of like pre-verbal knowing, recognition without words. So I want to really like go in, right? When you meet your divine masculine, something ancient moves before you even open your mouth. And for some of you, it happens in a split second. You look in your divine masculine's eyes and something inside you says, oh, it's you. Isn't it like amazing, you know, like when that happens? Because for others, it unfolds more subtly. You know, you meet them, you feel a strange pull, you don't quite understand it, and then later when you replay the moment, you realize your body has already answered before your mind caught up. So this is what I would call a pre-verbal knowing. Pre-verbal knowing, again, you know, in terms of definition, is the knowing, is the awareness that doesn't need language. It's the recognition that bypasses thought, bypasses analysis, and goes straight into your cells. That's why you can feel like a tremor in your nervous system, a sense of home in your chest. It's like a deep exhale in your soul, you know, it's like as if you've been holding your breath for lifetimes and only now you can breathe again. That's why it feels like a coming up home feeling. You feel so much peace, you feel so much comfort. Like the moment you meet your divine masculine for the first time here on earth in this present lifetime, it's just a feeling of home. It is a feeling that you will have with no one else. So that's what differentiates. And this is why so many of us report physical reactions at the first meeting. You know, sometimes it could be shaking, sweating, racing heart, even nausea. The body is not malfunctioning, it's remembering. And for some, it's just a feeling of home, you know, peace, just total peace. When I met my DM, it was just so peaceful, like so peaceful that I didn't even have the urge to go and check my Akashic records. I just knew. I didn't even need to go to the point of split. In fact, I wanted to explore the suspense between us. I tell you, those moments are frozen in time, man. Like, really, really, just connect. But it's a unique feeling, and it's also very different, you know. But it's different to like anyone else you would ever meet. That's how you know. You know, you know. That's it. You know, you know. So some may experience like a lot of, but I didn't. It was just a feeling of home, and you instantly know, like your divine husband. That's your divine husband, like literally. So you're not meeting a stranger. You're encountering the other half of your soul blueprint, and your system knows it before you do. See, that's what makes it so beautiful, doesn't it? Right? The body remembers beyond this lifetime. So think of it like this: your DNA is not just a record of your ancestors. It's a living library of soul encounters. So it carries the codes of recognition. And when those codes are activated, when your divine masculine's frequency comes into your field, the body remembers. And this is why the hug of your divine masculine feels different from any other hug. It's not just two bodies embracing, it's the collapse of polarity, a merging of frequency, and that's why I call it a heartquake, which I did a short discourse on. So you can hug a karmic partner and feel comfort. You can hug a soulmate and feel warmth. But when we hug our divine masculine, we feel eternity collapsing into the present moment, and that's what I call pre verbal knowing. So I want to really look into, this is something a lot of you guys have asked me, that instant recognition and the delayed awakening. See, Monadic Twin Flames instantly, especially the divine feminine, we recognize our divine masculine instantly. Of course, in some cases, it could be delayed recognition, but it's very, very rare. Most of the time it's instant. When your DM walks into your field, when you see him for the first time, you look at his eyes, you just know. That's why you even want to like go beyond the labels, because you just know that person is your divine husband, really. But you see, here's the part that causes so much pain. Because not because your divine masculine doesn't respond the same way. So as the divine feminine, our recognition is immediate. We just know. We may not have the words. We may even try to deny it to ourselves, but something inside us already knows. He's the one. He's the one that I've been looking for, because in many situations, divine masculines go into earth first and the husband is not coming home, and divine feminines, we go into earth to go look for our divine husband. So often it's like, hey, I finally found him again in this lifetime. So that is how it is. Get what I mean? Yeah. So that's why you're like, this is the person. This is where my husband has been all along, stuck in the clutches of earth, in the forest, the jungle of earth. Then our divine masculine, the reaction looks completely different. He will totally act casual, detached, sometimes even indifferent, but deep down, he just knows. That's why in the initial stages, he keeps coming back. And you would notice there'll be so many obstacles. Literally some twin flames have met in like 2020 have said that they were meeting all the time, and then COVID comes and like there was no way to even meet, and that break was enough to like distort the connection. But you see, it all happens for a reason anyway, right? So in fact, in some cases, our divine masculine may act the opposite of what he feels. He might dismiss the connection, avoid it, or rationalize it away. But it often doesn't happen in the initial stages. That's why you've got your first initial 20 or 30 meetings. Where he's like totally in the third energy field with you. But that is also necessary, because it's necessary for the field to build up. Those moments like spending time in nature, or or spending time in each other's homes, or like doing domestic activities like cooking, watching a show together, or just talking about everything, watching sunsets, going to the beach, you know, like very normal things. But you know that the energies around you is just different. It's like you are in your own bubble. So this stage happens to kind of like for the divine feminine, for us, it's for us to establish the connection, number one, to ensure the codes are transferred. So often that's why food comes into play, because when there's like, so that's a beautiful way of energy exchange. The codings that you place on the food will activate latent memories, and also mission codes, the gifts you exchange. That's why sometimes on the 3D level it may look like it's love bombing, but in reality it's all about codes exchange. Going back to the mooncake analogy, how they used to hide a message in the mooncake during wartime in China, right? So same thing. This is how you exchange codes without being caught in the radar of the not so good energies. So that's why themes like that, or just holding each other's hands, or just being in each other's presence. You don't even have to touch, but codes are being exchanged. So that's why you have got, you may feel like you're meeting him for unlimited periods of times, and this is the time where he's totally with you. It's like not hanging out with his friends. It's like every weekend he just spends time with you. It just finds the time. But then this is going to reverse, and somehow, somewhat within, this honeymoon phase is not going to last too long, and he's going to run. But of course the ego will say, hey, my relationship with my DM will be different. But like I said, some twin flames don't split because they've already anchored in the harmony code and the 0 point code, right? But for some, this is the time where, after establishing the connection, holding the frequency, that separation period is necessary for purging reasons alone. So that's when the rejection begins, the I'm not interested. You'll be like, he hanged out with me so many times, why is he saying words like not interested? It wouldn't make sense. And when you call him out on it, he too wouldn't know why he said that. But you see, internally, his nervous system is trying to say that, hey, we are getting too close, danger, danger, danger. But danger for this, it's like prohibited love. He knows in past lifetimes when you got close, you were separated. There was a lot, like in fact, like in some lifetimes, like that separation can be so intense in like different star systems. So galactic trauma, like how, just being together, being in the opposite sides, like in one of my lifetimes in the star systems, when my divine masculine and I, we were in like totally different sides. I was like the harmonic healer, and he was like literally part of the militarized system, and it was forbidden love. And the moment we got together, we had to be separated. He lost his memory, and we couldn't. You see, things like this would play up, and it's very, very painful. But when you go to the point, you will understand why he's behaving the way he's behaving, because he feels like if you get too close, something bad will happen. Something will be taken away from you. Like my DM's memory was erased in that galactic lifetime. So that fear is there. So to keep the memory going, to keep the remembrance going, divine masculine sometimes try to create the separation so that the not so good energies would not focus. You see where I'm coming here? It's very important. And in monadic twin flame relationships, it's not like the split soul twin flames, that 6 stage process. It's very different. It's recognition. You spend a lot of time, you go into separation, and then you anchor your purpose, especially category 2. We anchor our purpose to the next level. Category 1, veil burners. You guys are just burning every possible veil for both your DM and for yourself. And that's why in category 1, the DM doesn't completely separate. It comes in and out, comes in and out. For category 2, I'm a still flame, totally out. Like you get a good, depending, 2 or 3 years of complete separation, no contact. And it's very, very, very much needed, because this is the period where you truly, truly clear the noise, anchor into your essence, and then when he comes back, it's totally normal. It's like your husband has gone on a holiday and he's returned home. That's how it would feel. Like really, you would not feel the time, that time has passed at all. And for category 1, truly when the union stabilizes, it is heaven on earth, you know, truly. And you'll be like, thank goodness he didn't unite with me when his vibrations were low. Same thing for category 2 as well. You don't want to be with your DM when his vibrations are low, because you will have sacred anger and you will be like in his monkhood trying to figure out life, you know, in the material world, the spiritual world. He would go to the extremes. He may be partying like crazy, he might be traveling like crazy, or you might be working and working like crazy. You might, it will just be stress. And category 1 keep trying to look for someone else but never matches. So often some of my clients would tell me that the DM will find someone exactly like them but in a lower vibration. You see where I'm coming with that? Because our divine masculine already knows. It's just that the conscious and subconscious has to meet, and then, you know, the higher level recognition as well. So you see, that's the reason why our divine masculine behaves the way he behaves. And this is what I would call recognition gap. But here's the truth: recognition and awakening are not the same. Recognition is a soul level, it happens at a soul level and happens instantly. Awakening is on an ego level and can take years. So that's why the soul of both twins recognize the truth in the same moment. But recognition is not optional, it's encoded. That's why there is recognition. But awakening, the willingness for the human self to admit it, integrate it, to live from it, that is where the delay happens, the buffer happens. And that's why so many of us divine feminine says, we would say, hey, I felt it immediately, to me like coming of home feeling, but my DM acted like there was nothing. It's not that he didn't feel it. His body felt it. His soul recognized you, but his awakening was delayed because his ego wasn't ready to process the consequences. And that's why the awakening is delayed. So think about what awakening actually means. Awakening means confronting illusions, all right? Facing your wounds, releasing control. It's a huge part for divine feminines too, because at the start you want to control the narrative because you're so afraid of losing your DM again, galactically or on earth. You just want to control the narrative, and that's why he runs away. He runs away because, you see, in the initial stages you wouldn't have control, you would have just been yourself. But after the bubble breaks, you're afraid that you will lose him, and that's when you start love bombing and everything stretches. So releasing control both ways, you know, that's why awakening is delayed. And admitting that everything you thought about love was incomplete. You see, that's terrifying for the human ego, you know. So your divine masculine delays, he pushes it down, he rationalizes it, he tries to continue with life as usual, but the recognition doesn't disappear, it just waits, buried under resistance until the soul breaks through. That's why I wanted to touch very briefly on the twin flame frequency and the karmic chemistry. You know, so this brings us to another confusion. How do you know it's just not chemistry? Karmic bonds are magnetic, can feel very magnetic. You can be drawn to someone with an intensity that feels almost addictive. All right? But karmic chemistry is unstable. It's a push and pull dynamic of need and lack, and it's fueled by projections, unmet wounds, and cycles of trauma. Twin flame frequency is totally different. Karmic chemistry feels like obsession, highs and crashes, drama that never resolves. Twin flame frequency feels like home, even in chaos. Expansion. That's why I always say the difference is spiritual growth, spiritual expansion. Expansion, it awakens gifts, missions, memories, irreplaceability. You know, no matter how hard you try, you cannot unknow it. You cannot even move on. You cannot even date someone else. You're like, this is what it is. You will just be an eternal nun. Often that's the situation. It's very, very difficult to be with someone else after you meet your divine masculine in the 3D. especially when you know. And that's why the simplest way I can say it is that karmic bonds burn you out, twin flame frequency burns you open. You see the distinction here? That's why you can walk away from karmic partners when the lesson is complete. You totally forget them. You know how a breakup with a karmic person is? At most 6 months of grief, maybe a 2 or 3 years, depending on how many years you've been together. But you can always move on. But with our divine masculine, it only gets worse with the years. You cannot walk away from your DM. So why logic resists what the soul already knows? So why doesn't everyone embrace it immediately? Why do so many of our beloved divine masculines run, resist or deny? Because logic hates being bypassed. The soul recognizes you instantly, but the mind is designed to analyze, control, and calculate. So when the soul announces this is the one, the ego says no, that can't be right. We just met. This doesn't fit the age gap. There could be situations where your divine masculine was rejected based on his age. He may have, lied to his ex-girlfriend that he was of a certain age, and then when she found out that this was the age gap, even though you see, it's not even the age gap, it's more of the integrity, right? But you see, divine masculines just don't get it. Anyway, the karmic rejects them because that is the whole point, right? And then he only looks at the age gap. He doesn't look at, maybe the karmic rejected him for other reasons, intimacy reasons, for just being him, right? But usually karmic situations, they always look for an excuse. Even the rejection is always base level. They may say something like, oh, you lied about your age, why should I be with you? So often when the DM has got that fear that someone is going to reject me based on age, and then he meets someone who's even younger, and often in twin flame situations there's a huge age gap, right? It could either be, the divine feminine is like 10 years younger, or between, in all, you can even have like 30 years age gap, really. So that's why then you've got the culture, worlds apart, then the expectations, and then it's like if he admits this, his whole life has to change. You see, that's the point. The twin flame journey is meant to break the structure of logic, because logic is too small to hold eternity. So the resistance you face is not because he doesn't feel it, it's because he feels it so much that his logic goes into overdrive to protect him from collapse. So that's why navigating spiritual amnesia, your divine masculine, how does he navigate spiritual amnesia? That's why we enter the hardest part. What happens when our beloved divine masculine just looks like he has forgotten, or he seems to forget? Spiritual amnesia is when the human self denies what the soul has already recognized. So it can look like rejection, silence, avoidance, or even anger. But amnesia doesn't mean the recognition didn't happen. It just means the recognition is too overwhelming for the ego to handle right now. So signs of amnesia include sudden rejection after closeness. So you keep hanging out with him every weekend and suddenly rejects you, or he bluffs you, that he's going on a date but he's actually not. Category 2, classic. They love to lie about things like this. Contradictory behavior, so he'll be so close, he will treat you, he will tell you you're his family, this and that, and then after that he will be like, he will treat you like you are worse than I don't know what to say, worse than a person you meet in a club that you don't like, right? A lot of contradictions, and what confuses us, the divine feminine, is that, hey, a person who is so close, who shared so much, in terms of conversation, in terms of intimacy, and then suddenly is treating you like you are nothing, blocking communication, then secretly watching from afar. Oh my god, this is classic twin flame behavior, especially category 2. He may have blocked her out totally social, but then he will use another account. He might use his father's account, mother's account, brother's account. But you know what, the universe, because as divine feminines we are very, very intuitive, we will just get the nudge from the universe that this is happening. And outright denial, I don't feel the way about you, I'm not interested, I don't like you, blah 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 blah, like Like children say that sometimes, they'll be, I don't want to be friends with you, and then I want to be friends with you. They'll be, I don't like you, and then they'll be, I like you. Really, sometimes divine masculines exhibit the behavior of a 4-year-old. Sad but true. So, I'm not saying that as divine feminines we are awakened, but slightly a little more in the stage of awakening. So that's why to us it feels like betrayal, because in truth, it's a form of self protection, right? The amnesia that our divine masculine goes through is not rejecting you. He's rejecting the collapse of identity that comes with remembering you. So, that is the reason why I've seen this so much with clients. The feminine remembers instantly. She says, I know it's him, and he says, I'm not interested. But his actions betray him. He lingers, he watches, he cannot fully detach. That's amnesia. The soul is awake, but the human self is negotiating. And here's the difficult teaching. Your role is not to rip off the blindfold. It wouldn't work. The cocoon stage that I'm talking about, you cannot take him out of the cocoon. He will die. Your role is to hold the field steady. So that's the whole butterfly analogy. You mend your garden and the butterfly will come to you. So you just hold your field steady, clear out the noise, and then when he starts to awaken in his own pace, he will fly right into your garden. Right into your door, guys. Remember, the soul always leads. At the end of the day, you don't choose recognition. Recognition is written in your blueprint. It doesn't come from dating compatibility, from logic, from shared hobbies, or from matching astrological signs. It comes from the fact that your souls were one before they were two. So, yes, the mind may resist. Yes, your divine masculine may delay. Yes, amnesia may cloud the field for years, but the soul knows first always, and everything that follows, the confusion, the resistance, the silence, the separation, is just the process of bringing the human mind, body, and ego into coherence with what the soul already whispered the moment your eyes met, which is, this is the one. You have found home, literally. You have found your husband who ran away to Earth are on mission. Like, why? Divine masculines, I tell you. I do so much of your soul records work. Divine masculines, classic broken, wounded hero, just want to go in and think that they know better. But Earth is so unsafe. Like, literally, anyone who's conscious enough wouldn't enter Earth. And then they risk us, their divine feminines, right? Because years pass, he doesn't return, we start to panic, right? Your husband is missing, what would you do? You will try to send enforcements, you will complain to the galactic council, but nobody comes out. What do? You go in yourself. And this is the story of many, many, many divine feminines. So that's why every lifetime you see your divine masculine, the recognition. It's not even recognition, it's like, oh my goodness, what has happened to him? Why is his energy feels like that? So that's why if you're in this stage where your twin flame, where your divine masculine doesn't seem to recognize you, it don't take it to heart. Really. He does. He really does. His body does. His field does. It's the logic that hasn't caught up yet. And if you are the awakening one, your work is not to force him to remember, but to stabilize your own field, to keep anchoring the truth, and to remember the power is within as well. Remember, healing starts from within. And there are many ways to heal. So that's why it's becoming too cliche out there. Healing, work on yourself. Really, work on yourself has got a totally different meaning. Work on yourself is recognizing what you have to purge, and you can always do it yourself. Sometimes you can heal on your own. Sometimes, you can hire a healer like me to help you with the work. But remember, you always have the power within. You can solve the problems on your own. You just have to connect to your higher self, and you have to just call out to God from within. Always remember that the power is within, the force is within you. External is only for inspiration, internal is the reality. Trust your intuition, trust your gut. Remember that always, guys, really. The mind will eventually surrender to, because recognition isn't a choice. it's destiny. All right. Any questions? I'm going to open the. Why am I saying field? I'm going to open the floor to questions. And then I'm going to go right into. Let me look at the comments. And then I'm going to go into channeling. Yeah. All right. Good evening, Jordan. All right. I don't see any questions here. So shall I go right into channeling? All right. I've got Erin. All right. Let me see. All right. So Erin's question is, "Hello V, I've been very lonely trying to navigate this time. It weighs heavy on me. Does God want me in isolation right now? And if so, why?" General guidance, please. Thanks so much. God is with you, Erin. You are really, really building a very stable connection with God right now. Keep doing it. Talk to God. Cry out to God. Scream out to God. Ask God for direct answers and you will be guided. I've done that. It works 100%. You can ask anyone who connects directly with God. We always get answers through silence, and that's what I'm getting from you. God is with you, God is carrying you, God is protecting you, God is helping you heal in your space right now. So yes, isolation, if isolation is the way to go, go. But of course, take care of yourself as well. In the 3D world, you want to go out and have dinner or lunch. Try to be with loved ones as well, friends, close friends or family, anyone that elevates your field. But this period, Saturn retrograde, it's totally introspection period, and your twin flame is going through what she needs to go through as well. So that's the reason why this isolation, separation is necessary for her to see the truth, for her to let go and purge and let go of things that has been stifling your union. So that's why everything is happening for a reason. Erin, just breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Get loads and loads of rest. Keep focusing on your dharma, your what you need to do, your rightful path, righteousness. Keep going with the flow. Do not let go of responsibilities. Stick to a routine. It will be very, very difficult, but try your best. Remember, you have gone through so much, Erin. Literally, you have like come to earth from the stars. Literally, you have seen the worst. You can get through this period as well. All right, just hang in there, stay safe. And the messages that I'm getting from the universe is keep on going. Every day is going to be different, and everything is going to get better. And God is with you always. And just totally, totally feel the love of God. All right, with that, I hope you have enjoyed this channeling. Next up, I have got Gudny. Gudny's question is, see, I'm always smiling. Gudny, you're such a beautiful soul always. That's why when I'm doing your channeling, it's like, oh, such a beautiful, beautiful energies both you and your DM have. So your question is, did he change his plan about going to Oslo this summer? If so, why? Or has he been there but he did not have time for us to meet? If so, why not? How is he doing and how is our third energy feel? Well, there is some changes in his plan, so he hasn't been to Oslo this summer. But having said that, surprise visits could happen. But if he's coming there, he's definitely going to meet you. That is very, very strong in the fields. Like looking at your book of life, it's like the meeting is very, very near. It's just that the fields are still stabilizing. That's why the meeting hasn't happened yet. But very close. It can happen in days, it can happen in weeks. So just give it till November. I feel like there will be a 3D physical meeting. The third energy field is doing really, really well. The noise is cleared out. You are able to manage it yourself. If there's noise with awareness, you're able to clear it out. He's still struggling in little areas, but he's doing so much better than 2 years ago. So your divine masculine is on a roll, like truly, there's so much going on, and he's like ready to take it on to the next level. So truly. The messages I'm getting from your DM is that he's saying that you, oh, that song, that song, oh my goodness, like this, there's a song that he keeps playing in his playlist, like you light up his senses, and you are like, you're just so beautiful to him. He just wants to cuddle you and never let you go. He just says that he appreciates you, appreciates your warmth, even in 3D there's not much communication. Sometimes he says that in 5D you're always in each other's arms, and that truly hanging out with you through the third energy field, combined energy field, has been his lifeline all these years. And he says that he's ready to anchor it to the 3D. So much is going on very powerfully, and this black moon has been a total game changer for you, Gudny, because truly it's blacking out all of that unnecessary stresses in your day-to-day life, and it's bringing about a new stream of energy. So just keep going, beautiful. All will fall in place. God is with you. Keep connecting to the God within. Keep remembering the force is with you, the power is within you, and the third energy is very active and very alive right now. Just keep doing what you're doing, and all the magic is already happening. All right, next up I have got Jordan. Jordan's question is, what's coming through from Joe Stone in regard to if he's keeping things from you or about other women? All right. So I do see there is a lot of clutter in the field. So there is a possibility that there are other women, but they are very temporary, very, very short lived. It's more of like NPCs, karmics, but very short. They are there for a short while and they go. So there's a lot of disturbances in the field. So probably that's what you're picking up on, but they're not very anchored. So he is going through something, and of course he wants to hide a lot of things. So he's holding a lot of things back. So his messages to you are like he's frustrated, he's tired, he's sick, he doesn't want to see you at the moment because he feels like you're going to reject him. But he says that he will always, always love you, he cherishes you, and but there's a lot of distortions that you're both working on clearing. So that is the crux of it. A lot, and this black moon is kind of amplifying it, showing you, hey, what areas to work on, and to bring the power within you, and to work on your healing yourself, through the guidance of your higher self. So that's the messages I'm getting from the universe, for you to totally immerse in nature, go for a cleanse, go on go for a dive in the ocean, or go and sit in the forest or something. But you really need to ground to help Joe to balance the energy fields as well. But things will flow for the better, but you really have to bring back the power within. So that's what's coming through. With that, I hope you have enjoyed this channeling, Jordan. And next up, finally, I've got Diana. Beautiful Diana. So lovely to see you. The last 2 weeks you have been missed always. So Diana's message is, thank you for today's live. I've been very busy organizing the funeral. I know, I'm so sorry, but the loss. Truly a beautiful soul. And travel, the last few weeks it has been hectic. So a couple of days ago I reached out to my DM and let him know that I was doing to that I was doing too great, wasn't too doing too great mentally and needed his support. I was met with some excuse of tooth pain and not being able to talk. Yet I just wanted him to listen. So he has been posting all over his social media that he's drinking lately with friends. So I'm at a breaking point with him and I'm actually considering telling him to never contact me again. His response to me wearing my heart on my sleeve, that really hurt, that he disregarded my feelings. So I'm not sure if he's deserving of me anymore. This is one of the biggest breakthroughs in your relationship as yet, because you're drawing sacred boundaries with your divine masculine, because he is not able to handle your pain, so he tries to distract himself by performance, going on drinking. But the reality is he is not able to bear the pain you're going through. So you telling him off or you cutting him off is healthy in this case. However, I think start with 5D, because he's spending a lot of time basking in your warmth, in your energy, and he thinks it is imagination. But the reality is, the amount of time he spends up there, he could spend in the 3D. But he's thinking about you all the time, so he holds a lot of guilt. You see, my nose is itchy, downloads, holds a lot of guilt. Like literally, he's like a typical Aries man, truly wants to do so much but doesn't know how to. Literally, he's running away from his sacred responsibility of being a divine husband. He's being a typical 3D earth husband right now, not listening, ignoring his wife and running away with his friends. So I think give him one more chance, Diana. Give him one more chance. Let him pull it together, but draw those sacred boundaries through your mind field, through the 5D, through the soul field. Draw boundaries and tell him, if you want me, you got to make an effort. And he will feel it, and you will see transformation in his behavior. Can happen slowly, but I feel like this year is it's really a game changing year for you, Diana. Like truly, like everything is falling in place, the home, the children, everything, it's just coming in and it's just miracles. It's like truly the messages I'm getting from cosmic consciousness for you is that it may look like it's not falling in place, but everything is happening for it to fall in place. So even trying to trigger you, it's part of his performance subconsciously. He's doing that so that you will tell him off, because somehow he is trying to get you to tell him off, because then he would feel like you're finally honoring boundaries, you're finally choosing yourself. So in a very, very screwed up way, he's unconsciously doing what he's doing. But you know what, the reality is, Diana, God is with you, love is with you, and he's going to come back in the most stable way ever. And when he comes back, he's a new man, totally new man. And all these friends, these NPCs, they are totally going, in fact, even now he's seeing their true colors. All these drinking, they are probably taking advantage of him. They're doing things that he's seeing their true colors. And he will come and tell you, I wasted all my time with these useless, good for nothing friends. Truly, the day will come, and the day is very near. Looking into your book of life records, very, very near, Diana. Like truly, see, as I talking about it, the timing too, all in perfect sync. Truly. So that's why I'll just say go with the flow, Diana. And it's very, very difficult. It's very, very annoying, especially given your circumstances. Truly, everything that you're feeling, the sacred anger, the sacred frustration, it is valid. And you can tell him anything you want. You have divine's protection, you have divine's guidance, you have everything that you need in your field to anchor the truth, to anchor the reality, and to anchor what is necessary. That's why, Diana, I will just say go with the flow. If you want to tell him never to contact you ever again, do it. It is going to cracking up. It is going to crack his ego, and it is also going to help him to stabilize his field. So you could be doing him a favor. So just follow your heart, follow what you are instinctively guided to do. With that, Diana, I just have to say you're such an amazing person. You're such a beautiful soul. God is with you always. Your loved ones are with you always. Your ancestors are always protecting you. So much love in your field. Really. The third energy too is very active, and that's why you are on the mission of clearing out the noise. All right, with that, I hope you have enjoyed this channeling. And guys, I'll see you all next week. Before I go, I have a black moon healing and activations. I'm going to open it up till Wednesday or Thursday because we're still in the moon energies. I've also introduced some really new healings that I would highly, highly recommend, so do check them out. So I've got the introductory price on in, especially with the emerald heart and sapphire mind synchronization star healing, highly, highly recommended. The heart flame resurrection and the sacred mirror alchemy, and of course both of the third energy healings as well. I would recommend all of these, and if you haven't done soul realignment yet, I highly, highly, highly recommend you guys to get it done because it clears off everything, resets you back to your original soul blueprint. Because the healing in itself, it's done not only in the Akashic records level, it's also done in a multi-dimensional level as well. And you know my work, I am thorough. All right, with that, I'll see you all again next week. You see, I totally forgot about the comments. Oops, oops, oops. All right. Oh, Amber says hi all. Alright then guys, no more questions. I am going to wrap it up. Of course, I'll also recommend the Divine Masculine Fragment Healing and Etheric Space Clearing. It has been such a hit lately. Many of you guys have been booking me on there. Do check that out. And the Heart Chord Recalibration and Soul Memory Awakening. This is perfect if you really, really want to remember with your own eyes and wisdom, like from the point of split. So this really helps with that. And of course, if you want a chakra clearing, the chakra mirror activations, which is also on the pinned up comments, and also the Phoenix Gate Soul Purge Monadic Flame Retrieval Healing. So if you guys have like lost soul facets, this will be excellent. And the Timeline Anchor for Monadic Twin Flames Reclaiming Lost Moments and Future Union, this will also be excellent. So do check out all the healings and soul realignment. I can't say more. All right, with that, a happy, happy, happy black moon. Remember, the black moon is blacking out the 3D and showing you the multi dimensions and the reality of what life is. So stay safe. Remember, the force is with you always. Please have a direct relationship with God. Don't always trust your gut instinct, always trust your intuition. The external is just for inspiration. Don't let people tell you to do this or do that. Always trust your intuition. If you are guided, for example, if you are guided to do a certain healing, go with the intuition, but never give your power away, guys. We are too precious. Remember, as twin flames, as star seeds, we are too precious. Stay safe, stay hidden. Always, call out on the veil of protection. You can do it yourself. Always stay invisible if you can. Of course, in some situations you can't, but always remember God's protection is the highest protection always. Remember, just call out to God. And with that, I thank you all for being here. And for those of you who want to join me live next week, you can look for the group in the descriptions. All right, it is called Free Twin Flame Readings, Help and Guidance. All right, and I thank MJ again, my fellow admin. It's because of MJ I've been doing these lives every week since 2021 without fail. Really, there will be sometimes I'll be too exhausted from work, but I have done lives when I was in Europe in work, like at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I have like literally something within me is like I have to do this, and touch wood, it has lasted for this long, and I hope to continue to bring more lives. And at some point, I might do a live on YouTube as well, depending on what happens. And I thank you all for being here. This is always have a soft spot to these lives. And thanks, MJ, for everything you do, for the group. And really, it has been a journey, and I've met thousands of you guys over the years, and I have to say that decades of doing this has been sorry, let me correct myself here. Lifetimes of doing this. Over and over and over again. And I just have to say, wow, the cosmos is an amazing place. Different galaxies, different places, the galactic war. It has been what it is, but remember, the force is within us. That's why Star Wars, the force is with us. Always remember, God is within us. With that, take care, and I'll see you all next week. Love you all, and blessings always.